spooky. I mean, I don't even know how this time thing is supposed to work.
Like in general? I mean, time is measured in hours and minutes and seconds.
No, I mean specifically to our situation. Like, yeah, maybe it's just us out there, but what if it's crazy time-inversed versions of us? Like giant fetuses hanging in the air and mommy sacks?
I believe the technical term is lady pouches. Like kangaroos!
Or, it could be crazy like old versions of us, like we picked the wrong grail or something?
Relax. I know what the cup of a carpenter looks like.
Alright, well, let's go.
Hello, you two sugar biscuits.
That's the last time you call us some kind of soft-sounding baked good. The last time!
You wanna fight, HR Tough and stuff? I already know all the blocks to your moves.
And I already know all the blocks to his moves.
And I know... What's that called?
Mexican standoff.
No, we don't all have weapons drawn.
Like in Reservoir Dogs!
Oh yeah, I remember that movie. It was a movie. That's glowing praise. We don't review everything, so if we admit that something exists, it's kind of like saying it's great. Joe was all like, put the gun down, and Harvey Keitel was like,
I can't do that, Joe!
and then Mr. Orange is all like, it was me! I was the guy! And then he shoots himself in the face. And then they all had milkshakes. $5 milkshakes.
It's been a while since I've seen it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take your word.
A stalemate! That's what it is, it's a stalemate.
We're past that. Keep up.
I'll keep up with your face, with my fist.
No, Jake. Stalemate, remember?
You will taste the face soon enough, my liege. Until then, you must lay in wait.
Besides, we didn't come here to fight. We came because you two b-holes aren't collecting the MacGuffins fast enough.
Because you two b-holes hadn't told us how, man!
Sick b-hole reversal. Man, he took it to your house and then he burned it down. He evil joshed you. Dude, too soon.
Trev's right, you dicks. Did you guys come here to finally tell us how to do the thing? Or did you come here to remind us that you guys are dicks?
Dude, just tell them before they stalemate us to death. Okay. Yeah, we have no idea. Good Jake and Trev told us that you guys had to fix time, and well, that's kind of important to us since our dimension is a parallel dimension to yours. If you guys go down, we go down.
Ironic.
No, coincidental. But we don't know how to find them. Although we did notice that when you guys do your reviews, you tend to find a MacGuffin. So, do a review.
Captain America the Winter Soldier did just come out, and we were gonna review it anyways.
Yeah, so we were probably gonna end up with the MacGuffin, so we really don't need you guys here.
Well, now, hold on. Maybe if we all go see the movie, and Evil Jake and I don't do a review, maybe that'll make the other MacGuffin show up faster, is what we were thinking before we came here? That's the ticket.
Well, couldn't hurt.
Let's do it. Welcome to Jake and Trev Review Everything.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Trev. Oh man, Jake. It's a weird one today.
We got a couple of crotch ticks in the other room. Just sucking up all our fun.
Yep. Fortunately, they're out of this. They don't do reviewing themselves, so hopefully they'll wait patiently for us to finish.
So you were saying about your balls.
We just saw Captain America the Winter Soldier.
I joined S.H.I.E.L.D. to protect people. Captain, to build a better world sometimes means tearing the old one down. Look out the window. You know how the game works. Disorder, war. All it takes is one step. You need to keep both eyes
eyes open.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out? Gear up. It's time.
So, our thoughts on the movie. Trev, what did you think about Captain America: The Winter Soldier?
Well, I really liked it. It had a lot of good action. It had some of the espionage that I keep hearing being alluded to in the S.H.I.E.L.D. business. You know, that's their trade. That's their bread and butter. All that good spy action.
Spy versus spy.
Yeah. Here's the problem. In the original Captain America, you know, it was all set in, you know, the past. And so we got to see him living in that world, and we got only just a little taste of Captain America living in the modern world from the Avengers.
Hello, Epic. Good morrow. Hey, Epic! I hate that guy.
Do not understand.
I do. I understood that reference.
How does someone of that caliber and those moral backgrounds and, you know, that kind of guy, how does he live in this world? And especially, like, such an honest, you know, good-hearted guy working with, like, you know, a shadowy, you know, secret intelligence group, you know, and how does that mesh? And a lot of the things that came out of that were really good. I liked it.
S.H.I.E.L.D. takes the world as it is, not as we'd like it to be.
This isn't freedom. This is fear.
What about you, Jake? What did you think of Captain America and the Winter Soldier?
I thought it was pretty good. I have to agree. Yeah, in the first movie it was rushed because everyone wanted, you know, that's the whole thing about Captain America is so far his movie career has been just get to the Avengers already and just be part of the Avengers already, but we haven't truly had a Cap-centric, I mean, we had his origin movie, you know, so there's always got to be an origin movie, but now that we're past that, we get to kind of see him operate, just like you said, within the confines of, you know, and being an anachronism in modern day.
Right.
You do anything fun Saturday night?
Well, all the guys from my barbershop quartet are dead, so no, not really.
It's a really good action movie, absolutely. There is a fair amount of action. A lot more action than the first movie. In fact, I think most of the action in the first movie was part of a montage.
Yeah,
and that's when you're so pressed for time that the only action, like the good action that you get, is in a montage. And it's like, well, why are you making a movie about a dude who throws his shield around and has super strength?
Greater good is served more effectively by bending the rules a little bit.
That was kind of one of my beefs in the first one is that they didn't, to me, realistically portray how Captain America would actually fight guys like that. You know, I mean, there was a lot of guys with guns and everything, and he mostly just kind of bounced his shield around.
Yeah, he had a gun too.
Right, but you know, I don't know. I felt like Captain America was a little bit more physical in this movie, really kind of showing off his superior speed and strength and power.
But yeah, so you know, we both liked it. If you're into superhero movies or you just want a good action movie or whatever,
this is going to satisfy on a lot of fronts.
I love it!
So now, it's spoiler time.
There it is.
This game is rigged, man.
As far as our characters are concerned, Captain America's in it.
Surprise, motherfucker!
S.H.I.E.L.D. in this movie basically has become too big for its britches and now wants to patrol the entire world of its own accord. And it's kind of like, you know, Cap's like, well, you're talking about, you know, policing the entire world without their consent.
Surveilling everything.
That sounds kind of like
all the time.
I don't want to be that guy, but it sounds kind of like Hitler.
Es bleiben im Raum, Keitel, Jode, Krebs und Butter.
Here's the thing, in the Avengers he seemed almost kind of outclassed in many respects because you had Iron Man flying around and Hulk and Thor. And,
these are all like superhumans, you know?
Right.
You got a guy in a robot suit, you got a monster, and you got an Asgardian god. Being like super strengthful, you know.
It's kind of neat, but it's not that.
It's a step up from shooting special arrows.
Also returning from the Avengers is Black Widow, played by Scarlett Johansson.
ScarJo, don't call her that.
Don't call her that. She's
Don't
upset.
call her that.
Call her ScoJo. ScoJo's back, and she's being a super awesome agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. in this. She's got the moves, she's got the body, she's got the mind, she's got the sass, she's got the deadliness. She's got the look. She's got the whole package.
She's a mercenary to begin with, really. She's a spy, a mercenary. It's a part of her moral compass or lack of.
The only thing I didn't really like about it is they keep rehashing her whole, agent with a past thing. Which, to be honest, it's been so many movies that she's been in that it's like, wait, what did she do again? She was a KGB agent.
She's had, the history that she's had involved with, the Russian KGB, obviously. She was, taken as a young child.
Before she was part of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, but they really haven't explored that very much in any other movie.
She killed some people for the other side.
And to be fair, it's kind of like her big, character hook is that she's a former energy.
I got red in my ledger. I'd like to wipe it out.
Can you? Can you wipe out that much red?
Yeah, I mean, and now she's on this side, but it's always kind of been a thing in the comics of, whose side is she really on? Can she be trusted?
Well, that's the thing. S.H.I.E.L.D. recruited her, right?
Right.
So they know.
Right.
Why would they not know?
This isn't a secret.
Yeah. So that's that's my secret past. It's like, everyone knows by now. No one cares.
Yeah, you gotta keep moving forward. That's the whole point of things. And thank you now, I appreciate it.
I honestly thought that the hook in this one for her was going to be with Hawkeye, but he's nowhere to be seen. Even though he was introduced in the first Thor movie as being an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right, he's not getting a lot of play.
Yeah, the last movie he was in the Avengers, and, for a movie that ties so heavily into S.H.I.E.L.D., you'd think you'd see him there.
Nick Fury, of course, is in this picture as well. Samuel L. Jackson, back again.
Because the bad guys don't have lines. So we have to have some good guys that don't have them too.
Looking tough, acting tough, calling shots.
Getting shot.
Yeah, as I'm sure you've seen in the trailer, he's seeing some more and that's kind of nice. We're seeing him in a more action sort of things happening to him rather than him responding to things that are happening.
Whoa! You got a motherfucking RPG? Wait, can we talk about this?
He's always been kind of the man behind the curtain.
Right, well, I mean, he is the director, so you can't really have him out in the field mixing it up that much. I think a lot of people really wanted that from the Avengers.
Yeah.
And kind of getting him...
But we got it in this movie, it's awesome!
It's awesome!
Awesome to the max.
Introduced for the first time in this movie is the Falcon.
I was told I was a superhero, so I was like, I'm thinking spandex, and I have no spandex. Everybody else gets spandex.
Falcon, of course, is being played by Anthony Mackie.
He originally had regular wings, and then later on when he was part of S.H.I.E.L.D., he had metallic wings. So that's kind of the version that we're getting now.
Man, my costume sucks.
Yeah, and one version from the comics also had the power to talk to birds and communicate with them and order them around, kind of like Aquaman, but in the air. And I'm kind of glad they didn't do that.
Yeah,
that would have been kind of pushed in sideways.
I don't really have any superpowers.
They take a lot of time to develop his character and show the friendship between him and Steve Rogers.
See, I figured they would have had him in already as an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. that gets partnered with Captain.
Right, but no, he's part of some super secret, I think it was CIA or FBI or Air Force.
Yeah, Green Beret, some kind of, airborne...
Red Beret.
Some kind of airborne division that did, some tests with these wingsuits to have guys flying around in wingsuits rather than,
Yeah, and he had, a partner that did the same thing, but then he died. So it's I'm never putting on the wings again.
The program got canceled. So when we meet him in this, he's just a veteran, basically, who's working at the VA and running group meetings, support group meetings. He ends up relating with Captain America on the soldier level, which is kind of interesting. Gives a more direct soldier character to kind of pal around with Captain.
Because if there's one thing that Captain America can relate to with other people, it's that he was in a fucking war.
He was in the shit, son.
He was in the war.
Also introduced in this movie, the titular Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
He's bad. He's a bad dude.
Yeah.
ScoJo says at one point that he's a living legend in the intelligence community.
Right. Samson. No way.
Some people say he doesn't exist. He's sort of a urban myth almost. Oh man, there was this crazy op that went down and then the Winter Soldier showed up and everyone lost their fucking head.
The
greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
If he killed anybody, how does anybody get around to tell this story?
Right.
That's the question, man.
Yeah, that's a good story.
Here's the thing. We actually knew this a while ago because we watch a show called The Obscurosphere.
Mm-hmm.
You probably never heard of it. Hello, I'm Copfist.
I'm Peter Turfro.
And this is The Obscurosphere. Over there, they basically told the story of Bucky becoming the Winter Soldier.
Bucky Barnes returned as the Soviet assassin Winter Soldier.
So we already knew that twist.
Right. He is, of course, Bucky from the previous movie. Many of you may remember in the original Captain America, Bucky went plummeting down into that ravine that the train was running alongside.
Nobody, no dead.
Nobody, no dead. You guys should have known better.
You dummies.
And, the thing is that even in the comics, when that all happened, it was kind of a big deal because Bucky's one of those characters who had remained stubbornly dead despite everybody else coming back to life.
I don't even want to come back to life, Holmes.
New character in the movie, another new one, Alexander Pierce, apparently like the secretary in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. Alexander Pierce, of course, being played by Robert Redford. Kind of an unusual role for him. He's a much more serious actor. At this point, everything really seemed like Nick Fury was basically in charge.
He was the guy.
And then talking to these overseers from these different countries who are sponsoring S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's not your call.
I didn't make it.
Other characters in this movie include Maria Hill.
Yep, she makes another appearance. Colby Smothers.
This catastrophe could have been averted.
I don't know why we hate her. I don't know how that started.
A lot of people have to answer for that.
Listen, you have to have enemies in this business, okay? And I've decided,
We're so sorry.
I hate her in this role, and I want her to fail.
Use your aggressive feelings, boy.
She comes back briefly.
It's sort of like a token appearance, honestly. She didn't really bring anything to the table for me.
Let the hate flow through you.
Now, we're just going to kind of talk about what actually happened in the movie.
Au revoir.
Listen, man, having evil J&TRE in the other room, it's kind of creeping me out.
Me too. Shivers.
Listen, we gotta do what we came here to do. And also, this world was creeping me out. Yeah, me too. Love you, Whiskers.
But maybe we can be the ones who fool them. We can be the foolers. Nobody fools the foolers.
Yeah! We gotta fool them again. They think they're the foolers, but we're the foolers. And nobody fools the foolers. Yeah!
Okay, now go knock out Trev and take his place without evil Jake knowing. No!
That wasn't the plan. The plan has changed. Pray I don't change it back. Evil Star Wars reference.
Oh, come on! It will totally work and not all fail.
Yeah!
Just go do it. Fine.
This
is dumb.
They forgot about the stalemate.
What am I gonna spy on Jake for? To find out how many times he says the thing is, that's the thing is.
He does say that a lot. Also, spying on a guy who doesn't do anything and just sits silently in the room sounds boring as shit.
Try doing it.
No thanks.
So, wanna fuck with him?
Yes, please, let's.
What are you doing, man?
I couldn't...
I couldn't do it. He's too...
He's too handsome and smart for me. Damn it. Well, I'll have to cook something else up. Until then, let's sit here and review nothing. Yeah, that's fine. I love doing that. I mean, not doing it. We're not doing anything. Whew, that was a close one.
Would you stop being maniacal? We have to finish the review.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my good. I mean, you're good. Oh, I mean, my dad? Yeah. Whew. That was a close one.
The first time we get into the action is the Secret Night mission.
Secret Night mission!
They go on a boat and they have to rescue some hostages.
Yep, it's the boat's a S.H.I.E.L.D. facility or something.
Which is like the GoldenEye boat.
The Lemurian Star, I believe
It's totally the frigate from GoldenEye.
Right.
Absolutely.
Someone played that game a little too much.
Yeah, and they were like, let's just make this boat like that.
Anyway, they're all infiltrating onto this boat, and it was kind of stark watching Captain America just straight murder guys
He
with
was
his
just
shield.
owning people, yeah.
I'm just
Like
watching,
bones
like,
crushed.
murdered.
Like, people are falling off the boat. It's like, oh yeah, they're totally fine.
He, like, bashes a guy in the face with his shield. And it's like, he's got super strength, and that thing's like...
That guy is dead! Some guy goes to hit a fire alarm, and Cap throws a knife and, like, hits him in the hand.
Yeah! Stick around.
Cap doesn't fuck around. Like,
This was violent.
You know, for as much as people whine about, oh, Superman fucking killed somebody, or Superman... I was mad that Superman did... The nice thing about Captain America is that nobody holds him up to an unrealistic moral standard because he's a fucking soldier.
He's a super soldier.
Yeah, so he gets to kill people.
Captain ends up tracking down Batroc on board the
and
ship.
they have a kung fu fight!
Oh, yeah, no.
It's sweet.
It is
it's
really
super
good.
sweet. And you know, again, a lot of this is predictable, and some of it's a little cliche, but I love the, I didn't know you were just a shield. I thought you were more than that, Cap. And then he drops the shield. It's like, oh, it's time to hand to hand. It's the classic action movie, like, oh.
Vendetta mode. They're fighting now.
Yeah.
Nobody better get involved.
And then they kind of bring it up to Nick Fury.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
In order to kind of help tell Captain that, you know, I'm worthy of trust, let me tell you this big secret. And let me show you the future. He takes him down to this secret level where we see 3. We've only seen 1 so far. Now they're building 3 new helicarriers. Next-gen helicarriers.
Yeah. And they're like, hey, we're going to launch them and then put them all over the world. And they can shoot anybody, anywhere because they got crazy anybody, anywhere bullets.
Yeah, the idea being that they're going to be tied into like a world surveillance network and they're going to be constantly monitoring things and they're
Cap's
just going to
like,
murder people that are fucking problems and yeah,
like,
Cap's like, whoa, I don't know, Nick.
I don't like this nanny state thing that you're putting on me. And Nick's like,
S.H.I.E.L.D. takes the world as it is, not as we'd like it to be.
It's almost like that scene in Minority Report where he like rolls the ball. And he's like, oh, I caught the ball. He's like, oh, well, it would have dropped if you hadn't caught it. Or would it have? Like, you know, like that kind of deal. Like the whole preemptive, stopping people before they do crimes kind of thing.
The fact that you prevent it from happening doesn't change the fact that it was going to happen.
Just so everyone knows, if you're confused about this, that's where law enforcement of any kind goes over the edge. When you start preemptively stopping things before it happens. Cap even says a line. He's like, well, usually we arrest people after they do the crime.
This isn't freedom.
Nick takes the data that he got from Black Widow and discovers that there might be something kind of terrible and nefarious going on behind the scenes.
I sense a plot to destroy the Jedi.
So he goes and tells his friend, the Secretary, Alexander Pierce, that we need a delay on this launch of the new helicarriers, because if he's right about his hunch, it could be real bad. Like, real bad.
And Pierce is like, we'll get right on that.
And then...
immediately afterward, Nick Fury is pursued by unknown people in an awesome fucking scene.
It's awesome!
Like we said
earlier. It's great. Like, there's just so much nice car action, and if he's by himself and he's getting no backup, and we see how Fury fucking handles himself.
Yeah. With great vengeance and furious anger.
At the end of that, you think he's gonna get away, and then fucking Winter Soldier shows up.
Yeah, blows up the underside.
And it's like, who's this motherfucker?
He looks tough as nails. He's got like a bionic arm and shit.
Nick narrowly escapes. He gets back to Cap and is basically like, listen, I think, it might be a little early to say this, but I think maybe S.H.I.E.L.D's been infiltrated.
Yeah, look, Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2 was out there, and he tried to kill me earlier. Yeah. So then, Fury totally dies. He succumbs to his injuries of being shot, and everyone's kind of left to pick up the pieces, like, holy shit.
Like, oh, fuck.
Maria Hill's like, oh.
Whoa. Everybody's like, whoa. Whoa.
So Cap gets called back. Alexander Pierce wants to talk to him, and remember, Fury had told him, don't trust anybody. There's ears everywhere. There's a traitor in our midst. That whole thing. And then Alexander Pierce has him come up to his office, and he starts telling him, "Oh, you need to tell me what Nick Fury told you before he died, because he definitely told you stuff."
Yeah, I want to know.
I want to know. I'm his friend, and I'm not going to let anyone stand in my way of getting revenge.
Yeah, it's revenge time. And if you're not going to tell me, then I'm just going to revenge you.
If you're not with us, you're against us.
Are you asking for a challenge?
So then at that point, the whole of the S.H.I.E.L.D. Triskelion building is trying to stop Cap from escaping, and
which they don't because he's Captain Goddamn America.
And he's a fugitive, and
yeah.
The Black Widow, being a total intelligence badass, knows that
he was a fugitive.
I came home, there was a man in my house.
It wasn't me. It was the
one-armed man!
He had an artificial arm.
Black Widow's like, I want to know what happened. So they're like, oh, we gotta hack our way to where the information came from. So they hacked their way to where the information came from. It was actually the training camp where Captain America trained.
You know it?
I used to.
They get down in the bunker, and there's a huge fucking bank of reel-to-reel computers. This is where the movie gives you the big turn. So we see a familiar face from the first movie. If you were paying attention, the Red Skull's lackey in that movie is Arnim Zola. He's a short dude with glasses that's doing all the experimentation on the Cosmic Cube. From his exposition dump, we get that he put his brain into a bunch of computers before he died.
You better believe I'd put my brain in a robot's body.
To being a computer man, it's kind of a nice little nod back to the continuity of the comics.
He reveals that he's Hydra.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Obviously he's Hydra. He was Hydra in the first movie. Why wouldn't he be fucking Hydra now?
And he basically goes on to say that, everyone thought that Hydra was gone when the Red Skull disappeared, but dude, we're Hydra. It's in our name. It's in our thing we always say.
Cut off one head, two more shall take its place.
What did you think was gonna happen?
So then what you have is, as Arnim Zola explains, is that basically Hydra's been hiding in plain sight, growing slowly within the organization.
Within S.H.I.E.L.D.
Within S.H.I.E.L.D. And now they're making their move.
Oh God, not the gotcha dancers.
And Alexander Pierce reveals to us that he's the one calling the shots on the
I'm the bad guy.
I am the villain of the story.
I'm telling the Winter Soldier who to attack, and he's like, "You gotta kill Cap and Black Widow and take care of this for us."
Apparently, they've just been fucking with the Winter Soldier the entire time. He's basically just the, they freeze him, and then when they need him, they bring him out. They wipe his memory or something.
Yeah, they got some kind of electroshock thing to make him
they program him. They literally program him.
He's a programmable killer.
We can adjust character. Change personality.
So they're on the run, and Cap doesn't know who to trust, so he goes to Sam Wilson, the Falcon.
Snap Wilson, the Falcon.
A guy, another soldier, a veteran, someone who's seen some shit, and someone he knows is not inside the intelligence community, and so he has a reasonable suspicion that he can trust him.
Yeah.
They hook up. He's like, hey, I want to help in any way I can, but I'm not much use to you except without my wingsuit.
Oh, I got a wingsuit!
I was in this secret program where they gave me this jetpack with these wings, giving me the ability to fly and fight.
Yeah, because earlier he mentions that he's doing flying missions, and Cap's like,
I thought you said you were a pilot.
So he's like,
I never said pilot.
yes, he's gonna do the thing.
Yeah.
I can fly.
And then they decide to go after one of the only leads they have, where they think they know that Jasper Sitwell, who was on the Lemurian Star, is one of the Hydra agents. So they go and kidnap him and get him to do some squawking.
I do a great Patsy.
Yeah.
And then that's, of course, that interrogation sort of interrupted by the Winter Soldier's arrival, who's there to rub them all out.
Yeah.
And a pretty good action sequence kind of ensues where everyone's really challenged, and Cap and Winter Soldier have their first hand-to-hand fight. And they're really evenly matched.
Give it up, baby. I've studied all your moves.
They make their escape from Winter Soldier and the Hitmen, but not before Captain realizes that the Winter Soldier is in fact Bucky.
Yeah, he takes off.
He says his name, and he's
shit.
like, "What are you talking about?" But then they do these like kind of like flashes that are supposed to be Winter Soldier. Like, wait, who's Bucky?
Yeah,
Steve. I don't know a Steve, and like and trying to figure out who he is.
What?
And, like maybe he's breaking through the programming with the power of friendship. Cap and the gang escape and are found by Maria Hill, who takes them to a secret off-site place where it is revealed, surprise, the King of Cloak and Dagger himself, Nick Fury.
Hold on to your butts.
Is in fact not dead. Oh, fake you out.
What?
Fucking got you guys.
You're dumb.
So they decide that they're going to have to take S.H.I.E.L.D. down because S.H.I.E.L.D. is infected with Hydra.
You're a smart motherfucker, that's right.
So anyways, at the end of the movie, Captain America and Falcon do this cool battle on the 3 helicarriers and are trying to take off. They're led by Pierce. Pierce basically kidnaps the people that were on the board that flew in to see the helicarriers take off and simultaneously announces that Hydra is out in the open. The Winter Soldier is there. So they have a sweet throwdown, knockdown, drag-out fight, except for Bucky is... Cap is still trying to convince the Winter Soldier that he's Bucky.
I don't get it.
It's a kind of a gamble here. Basically says, I'm gonna let... Alright, Bucky, you can just beat me to death, but I know you're Bucky, so don't. And then he proceeds to just pound the piss out of Captain America.
Kind of a tight gamble there.
Right. And they go tumbling down into the waters and everything. Captain America is pulled out, saved from drowning by the Winter Soldier, having now apparently remembered that he is in fact Bucky, or at the very least feeling like some kind of closeness to Steve that won't let him just out and out kill him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we leave off at the end of the movie. Nick Fury is still pretending to be dead. He's like, he has got a gravestone and everything.
Yeah, that's very Dark Knight Rises.
But he's still going to be out there. Cap's not sure what he's going to do next, but he feels he wants to go save the Winter Soldier. And Falcon's on board for that. And everyone kind of breaks up and goes some separate ways.
It happens sometimes. Friends come in and out of your life like busboys in a restaurant.
Jake, any thoughts? Any final thoughts you want to give us?
Yeah. See, it was an espionage movie, but I feel like all of the beats were really predictable. The whole crossing and the double crossing and the secret agents and stuff like that. If you're into movies like The Bourne, whatever, or the James Bond movies even, you're gonna know what's coming when it comes. But I think that with the pacing and the action and the characters, I think that it more than makes up for it, and you're actually in for a fun ride rather than just a boring, predictable one.
I think the pacing really helped. It was really lightning fast. I never found myself looking at my watch. And it was kind of a lengthy movie.
Yeah, it was like 2.5 hours long almost.
And also the screenwriters for this one, these guys, they did a real good job, and they did a good job on the previous one, and they're kind of working here hand in hand on kind of crafting the future of the Marvel Universe that's not Iron Man, apparently.
Yeah, Joss Whedon's obviously credited mostly for doing, but he only did Avengers.
Right, in this case, these guys have done the last Captain America, this one, the last Thor one, the next Captain America. But yeah, I'm excited for the future of the Marvel Universe pretty thoroughly now again. Thor was pretty alright, but this is genuinely good.
And, I love Captain America, but now that we've seen it, it was good. Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be
Girl,
real.
I want you, Guardians.
I want you back, baby.
Oh, Guardians.
So, before we go any farther with that about does it for Jake and Trev Review Everything. I'm Trev.
And I'm Jake.
And thanks for watching.
That was a pretty good review.
Are you kidding? That was exhilarating. It's like my heart has been borne from my chest and raised upon high by a mighty eagle to rest with the rays of the sun. That was another close one.
It sure was.
Oh no. Evil Jake and regular Trev. I mean, me.
I get you're evil, it's fine.
Okay, cool.
What did you do?
What did you do?
Not this. Great Marcus Aurelius' ghost! What happened to Trev's apartment?
I think it reverted back to a time before it was there. Or something. I don't know how time works.
Yeah, me neither.
It's a MacGuffin! What is it? It's a map, but it's only half a map.
It's not just a map, it's a MacGuffin. I can tell. But what good is half of a map, even if it is a MacGuffin?
No good. Unless the other half of the map is the last MacGuffin.
Peanut butter disaster.